Okay, so let me take you on a tour here really quickly. Don't mind all this chaos because we had to go through last night and pull things off of counters. And I will tell you why in just a second. But my husband rushed up here underneath the sink. And this reverse osmosis tank, it's laying down at the moment, but it wasn't laying down. Everything's been moved around underneath here. But basically the reverse osmosis tank broke. Or one of the lines failed or leaked. Something happened. We never had a problem with it. It was totally fine. Basically, it failed. Is what we were told, and it leaked water. It filled up the bottom of here. That's why it's like bowed. It leaked back. It leaked down. So there's like old flooring under there. It's kind of hard to see, but basically this puppy was saturated. This was saturated, and it went down, and then it went under the subfloor. This is concrete subfloor right here because we have radiant heat. So we have pipes that run through our floor that carry hot water throughout the house. That's how we heat our house. So anyways, the water went down through the ceiling of the bedroom below, and that's what happened. Well, it also ran out from underneath here, and this was all laminate. See that pretty laminate over there? That we just put in 3 years ago when we were getting rid of the cat-ishness. Ruined. Totally ruined. So, yeah. So, thank heavens, like as soon as we saw the leak, we'd never ever filed any sort of a home insurance claim before, but we called right away and told our insurance guy, who's amazing, by the way, Brian Whitlock, Farm Bureau, love him. And we called him and said, oh my gosh, this is what happened. And he was like, okay, we're on it right away. And he totally stepped up and he helped connect us with the right people. And that next day, our restoration company came out, ripped out the flooring. And so that's why we don't have flooring in here. That's why it's all concrete, which now has food on it because for the last 3 months, there have been 5 children in this household and no flooring that I can just mop up. But we're going to scrub that up before we lay the new flooring. But yeah, that's our story. So because the water was all through here and all under there, it ruined the bottom of the cabinets. And it ruined the bottom of the island. It flew the water. This whole kitchen, the laminate was saturated. The whole kitchen. So, you like how I don't have trim? We took the trim off 3 years ago. And then this is what happens when you develop fibromyalgia, when you're in the middle of a big remodeling project. You never get back to it. So, anyways, I did paint the countertops. I did a marble paint, but they're dirty right now, but I did a marble paint and it looks really pretty, but it's going to be ripped out now. So it's been so interesting because we started out with this. We weren't planning on remodeling that much at all. This house was turnkey ready. It was perfect. And then all of a sudden we were thrown into having to remodel almost the entire house, except for really the kitchen. And we are ready to rip out this kitchen. That's happening today. So here's the story on that. My husband got home late from work last night. He usually is home by 5. And there was some issues. Somebody lost a phone and whatnot. So he had to stay late. And so he walks in the house, and it's probably almost 7 o'clock at this point by the time he gets home. And he walks in the door and he says, we have a decision to make. And I was like, okay, what? He's like, did you want the white quartz or the gray quartz countertops? And I'm like, do I have to decide that today? We don't even have a date for the cabinet install yet. Like they told us that we didn't have to decide until they installed the cabinets. He looked at me, he's like, yeah, that's the thing. I just got off the phone with the cabinet guy and they're installing them on Wednesday. I was like, what? And so the guy had just called Neil to make sure we were good to install on Wednesday. Neil called our restoration company, and the restoration company was like, oh yeah, he did give us a date. Yeah, he gave us a date like a month ago. Like, that's our bad. Like, we'll see what we can do. Because obviously, we still have cabinets. We still have an island. We still have cabinets in here. Like, we removed the uppers. We removed the uppers a year ago. Like, that's them right there. Everything is in the dining room right now. Those are the uppers. The doors for them are out in the garage because we weren't done with those yet. Because once again, got fibromyalgia, couldn't finish the project, was super tired and painful. Anyways, so we just need these lowers. That's all we need is the island and lowers. Anyways, so they shuffled some things around and they figured out that a team of guys from the restoration company could be out here today. So, with like 12 hours notice, they're gonna be here shortly to rip out all of our cabinets and our island. And obviously they'll remove the appliances. We're gonna keep the stove because the stove is only like a year and a half old. It's actually a really nice big gas stove top. We just took off all the grills and stuff like that. But we're going to keep our stove. We're gonna keep our oven because we have like a huge oven and we like it. But we're getting a new dishwasher. And then our sink is only like a year and a half old and it's massive and I love it. But because we're getting stone countertops, we're getting quartz, we're gonna do an undermount sink. So if you know anyone in the market for a giant sink, it's gonna be for sale. But we're gonna keep our hardware. So yeah, that's happening today. And I also have to take my daughter to the chiropractor this morning. And I have 2 finals today. Final for the whole year for statistics, for social statistics. And I have to write a paper for one of my other classes that's due today. That's the final in that course. And then I have a therapy appointment this evening. And somehow this is all gonna work in. But thankfully my husband said, you know what, I'll work from home today. So he's gonna be here to help us out. But that's where we're starting at on our journey. And this is gonna be a big, crazy journey. Because like I said, this whole process has started 3 months ago with a flood. It all started 3 months ago with a reverse osmosis system going berserk. And it ruining our kitchen and the ceiling and the floor of the room below it. So we are, because the laminate in our house is all continuous, the whole main floor, you know, there's not great lighting in here, but the whole main floor, it's all the same laminate throughout the whole floor. Because of that, they have to replace the whole floor. So, and we're actually going to do luxury vinyl plank because of concerns about future water damage issues. Just because I have 5 kids. And do you know what happens when you have vinyl and 5 kids? They go out in the summer or in the winter and they play and then they come back in and this is what happens to your flooring. And this is like, do you see these bubbles and these ridges? Like it's all raised. It's all like this. And this is just what happens because laminate is a compressed paper/wood product. And even this stuff was supposed to be water resistant. Nope, this was a big national brand and they're more expensive stuff and it has not held up for 3 years. So we are going with luxury vinyl planking. We're super excited about that. And just hope to have a lot better water resistance. I will be waterproof actually. So this shiplap, we put up this shiplap and we never painted it. And this is all coming off. Like I told you before, like I painted the countertops and they were really pretty for like a month. This was the really expensive countertop kits that you can get and it peels if it gets wet. That's what happens with that, just so you know. And when you have 5 kids who do the dishes, not you, you're going to be prone to some water on some surfaces and some bubbling that happens there. So, and then we did these uppers ourselves, but they're too dark for what we're putting in because we're putting in white cabinets and white quartz countertops. So we're gonna leave the brackets because I actually really like these brackets, I think, and we're gonna put in different shelving. So much is happening here. We're gonna remove the shiplap off of that wall. We're gonna remove the shiplap off of that wall, and probably remove the shiplap off this wall. The whole house is gonna be painted with a lot lighter shade. So whole house is getting a repaint. Whole house is getting a remodel. Whew. This was already intended and planned. This was already intended and planned this spring. At one point, because my husband was still underemployed, we were considering very heavily selling the house. That was the plan, was to sell the house. We were gonna list it. We got our tax refund, and we had it all dog-eared for different remodeling projects. And we were going to really hit the ground running with those in May and then list the house by the end of June. And we had no idea where we were going to live after that. We were thinking about, my husband was looking at jobs in Arizona and Alaska and everywhere. But COVID happened. And because COVID happened, a lot of borders were closed. So Alaska became a non-option, even though there were a couple companies that were interested that he was corresponding with before COVID shut everything down. And that kind of broke my heart a little bit. But yeah, we had no idea where we were going to go after we sold our house, but we just knew that we weren't in a place financially to keep it. And then the flood happened. And we were like, well, we definitely can't finish this up and sell it now, not until this kitchen gets replaced. And like I said, we're end of July, and we're finally looking at things really starting to move here, other than flooring being ripped out. I do want to mention, though, that the sheetrock in the basement bedroom did get repaired already, so I'm grateful that's done. And so all we have to do really down there is paint the walls and the ceiling and put in the new flooring, but we're redoing all the flooring in the whole basement at the same time. So we're doing some of our own labor so we can get extra flooring to make that happen. But oh boy, it has been a stressful process, but I'm so incredibly grateful that I'm finally going to have a kitchen that feels whole, that feels complete, that feels finished, that feels aesthetically pleasing. That's pretty darn important to me. And this was my first home that I've ever bought, and to have all this happen over the last 3 years. And there's been even more things, so many more things that I just don't even want to get into. That have gone wrong with this house. It's been incredible. But we have faced each situation head on. And there have been little miracles that have happened to make sure that we have the money that we need to take care of them. And my husband did get a new job just a couple weeks ago. And he's working in a town about 45 minutes away, which is way better than where he was, because he was working over an hour away, like an hour and 15 minutes away. So that's where we're at. Here comes the husband. He's about to appear right here. There he is. So I'm just telling everybody about our remodel that's finally starting today.
Yay!
I know. It's finally happening. It's gonna be crazy.
Good, not crazy.
I know, it's gonna be good. But I just wanted to say, hey, yo, and document what this kitchen used to look like. There's our before people. And it's gonna look a whole lot different by the time we're done. I forgot to show you one other big change that's happening. You see this? This happened because of a lawnmower. It flipped up a rock. See right there? Flipped up a rock, shattered the door. We're getting a new one. It's gonna be amazing, right, dear?
Yes. Thank heavens for tempered glass.
It's gonna be amazing.
So this is the kitchen after the tear out. It is disastrous and disgusting. I can't even begin to tell you all of the gross things that were shoved into places by whoever finished this kitchen. But the good news is the crew did show up. They spent all day putting together our amazing custom cabinets. And as you can see from the finished picture, they look amazing. Countertops showing up soon, and we'll give you an update on what the kitchen looks like as it goes along.